Okay, here we go. Let's do a Christian movie review of the movie Slamma Jamma. You could probably tell that this is a basketball movie. They made the movie for about $1 million, and it is an hour and 44 minutes long. It was written and directed by Timothy Che. The main star of the movie, Michael Diggs, he's played by Chris Staples. The famous football player Michael Irvin is also in the movie. He plays a sports agent. And Michael's brother, Tay, is played by Kelsey Casper. There's a bunch of other stars in the movie too, like Pastor John. He's played by Ray Walia. And Craig Jackson is played by Gary Smith and a few other people. Now, here's what happens. Michael Diggs, is a college basketball star, and he's going to be drafted number 1 into the NBA. But something happens, and he gets arrested by the police, and he ends up doing 6 years in prison. This is a really good story about redemption, about restoration. So after doing 6 years in prison, of course, his basketball skills would have deteriorated. By the way, I should mention that this movie is loosely based on a true story, if I remember correctly. Now let's go over the good first. Well, the day Michael gets out of prison, he hops on the bus, works his way home, and he surprises his mom, and that was a pretty cool scene. I enjoyed that. Then after being out of prison for a couple days, he goes to his old girlfriend's house, but, well, she's dating a brand new guy who just happened to be one of his old teammates in college basketball. I thought that was a good scene, with the look on her face. And another good scene in the movie I remember is, now remember, Michael, he gets out of prison, he gets this job at a supermarket. He has no money, he hasn't been paid yet. In fact, they're not going to pay him for 2 weeks. So he was so hungry. He had no food, he had no money. So he was so hungry, he went outside in the back behind the supermarket and ate some really old, moldy bread. And that was a good scene. This movie also has a lot of comedy in it. They were playing some basketball out on the streets, and this girl came up to the court, and she's very attractive. Well, she could really play basketball good. And one of the guys asked her out on a date. And what happened next that was really funny. One last thing I want to mention is most of the basketball scenes were really good. They were shot good, and it just turned out really excellent. They did a good job there. Now let's talk about the music. The music was excellent. They had hip-hop beats, they had soft music, they had music with grooves, they had piano, soft piano, emotional, melodic piano. Whoever was in charge of music, and if I can remember, I'll look that up for you. But whoever was in charge of the music did an excellent job of choosing the right song to match the scene of the movie that was actually going on. Now, was there any bad? Yeah, just a little bit. Michael, the star of the movie, when he was younger, when they did flashbacks and he was supposed to be a younger man, they put a wig on his head. They gave him a wig for his hair, and man, that came out bad. The wig looked fake. It looked artificial. I don't know whoever was in charge of makeup. I don't understand how they didn't realize that it looked so terrible. In fact, it looked so bad. I had trouble watching the flashbacks because of how fake it all looked. So I don't know how that got past the producer and they didn't fix up the wig. Some of the basketball court scenes didn't look right, and there was a little bit of bad acting too. In a sense, this was a low-budget movie, although they did spend $1 million approximately. Let's give the movie a rating. If you like basketball the way I do, if you're a basketball fan, if you enjoy playing basketball, I give this movie a 7.5. This is a good, solid Christian movie, especially if you like basketball. And you can catch it on Amazon for $4 right now. That is not bad at all. I'm happy I rented it. I'm happy I spent the $4. I'm happy I saw it. It had a lot of good scenes. Now, if you're not a basketball fan, I don't think you're going to like the movie much. I really don't. The movie is based off of basketball, lots of basketball scenes. So if you're not a basketball fan, well, you might want to think about finding another Christian movie to watch. Anyway, check out the movie. They did a good job. It was heartfelt, good ending, but had a few bad scenes, a little bit of bad acting, and some bad makeup. Okay, to wrap this up, 7.5. They did a good job, especially if you're a basketball fan. Praise God.